you're you're so ugly, and you're so disgusting, and that. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Moments with Z. My name is Z, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the most terrifying experience of my life. This experience involves me traveling from the US to Peru, where I spent a week in the Amazon jungle at a retreat where I participated in 4 ayahuasca ceremonies. I know it might seem kind of odd that I'm talking about this so casually and lightheartedly and even smiling about the most terrifying experience of my life. But the reason for that is because it's exactly what I needed to go through in order to heal a big part of myself and feel and be free in this world. Before I dive into the story, I want to give you guys an idea of the mental state that I was in, which caused me to seek out this experience. So, up until that point, my life was pretty good on paper, right? Like, I have a great family, great friends, great relationship, a job that pays well, great coworkers, but for some reason, I just couldn't shake this feeling that something was off, something was wrong. Like, this is not the life that I was meant to be living. I just didn't feel free. It felt so odd. I tried to repress it because on paper, like I said, everything was awesome. So it didn't feel right to be constantly complaining about it. Don't get me wrong, I still did complain about it to some of my close friends, but I've always felt bad for it afterwards because it's like, dude, just be grateful for it. At least that's my attitude to myself. Whenever I complain to my friends afterwards, I'll just be like, damn, you should just be grateful, man. Like, what are you talking about? Freedom. But I couldn't shake this feeling, man. Like, no matter how hard I tried or suppressing it, it just kept coming up. And over the years, it got worse and worse and worse. So I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I gotta do something about this, man. And that's when I started researching and came across ayahuasca, this medicine that's known to heal you mentally and even spiritually, and has been known to change people's lives for the better. I felt a strong calling to take it and pursue this experience. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So now that you guys have the mental context of why I pursued this experience, let's get into it. Bam! Outfit change just because. Now let's get into the story. So the ceremony takes place in what's called a maloka. What I'm showing you here is basically the maloka. It is a wooden structure, circular structure, and take note of what's on the perimeter encircling it. It's a ton of beds, and I don't know if you can see, but there's some puke buckets. That's where all the participants of the ceremony lay down or in lotus position after they take the medicine. The shamans themselves, they're towards the center of the circle during the ceremony. They're singing, they're chanting, they're doing what they have to do to guide you into the spirit realm. So the specific ceremony I'm going to be talking about is going to be the second ceremony, because that's the actual nightmare ceremony. All the other ceremonies, to be honest, were pretty gentle and very chill, especially the first one, really gentle. I got a ton of insights and I was left feeling energized and good about myself. So going into the second ceremony, I felt great. I felt like, what's there to be afraid of? You know, the first one was so awesome. And the second one, it's the same dosage, the same amount of ayahuasca that I'm drinking. So how can it be harder to handle? I was completely wrong. The ceremony takes place in the Maloka at 8 p.m. It lasts all the way until I believe it was 3:30 a.m. So it was about 7.5 hours of a ceremony. Incredibly long. The shamans are doing their thing the entire time, chanting, singing, taking care of people that need extra attention. It's like I give them major props for what they do. When the ceremony began, they called me up along with my soul brother. We met at the retreat and we just like connected instantly. They call people up by pairs to take the medicine. So we go up to the middle of the Maloka. I take the medicine and they suggest to pray to it and remind yourself of your intention. And just to remind you guys of my intention was to be free. Whatever that means, I just wanted to be free. So I prayed to the medicine. I was like, I don't feel free and I want to achieve freedom. So that was my prayer. And then I drank it down the hatch. disgusting. I don't want to go into the details of the taste. It's not important to the story. Just know that it's disgusting. Um, After that, I retreat back to my bed. I'm sitting in lotus position, still feeling good. Everything's all right. And also, the ceremony takes place in a very dark setting, right? This is happening at night, and the candles are blown out after the last person have taken their ayahuasca. So it's almost pitch black, save for the moonlight coming into the hut. And if you're really close to someone, you can see them basically. So I take it, it's doing its thing in my body. I instantly start feeling not too well. Ayahuasca is a purging medicine, meaning you could throw up. Purging comes in different forms. The idea is that you're purging the negative energy or any of the illness that you have in your body. Um, so it could come in the form of throwing up, going to the bathroom, number one, and number two, sweating, laughing, and even sleeping, all different forms of purging. So for me, I instantly started salivating. My stomach didn't feel well, and I'm just like spitting into puke buckets, all my spit. And then I felt the need to purge, and I purged a couple times. Then I lay back down, and I'm closing my eyes. I start getting guided into the spirit realm. I don't really know how to best explain that process because visually it's inexplicable. It just feels my mind is slowly traveling through this tunnel of beautiful darkness. Beautiful darkness is the best way I can put it. And then once I'm there, I the medicine made contact. The spirit of ayahuasca, as they call it, made contact and started speaking with me. So you guys know, like when we speak, we hear this voice coming out of our mouth, right? And then when we think, for me at least, from my perspective, my mental thoughts, it's coming out from like here. I feel the thoughts coming from here. The voice of ayahuasca, the spirit, that voice came, it felt like it was coming from the back of my head and then kind of just enveloping my whole entire skull. So I was hearing it clear as day, right? And the medicine was like, oh, sorry, the spirit was like, your illness is your mind. You overthink so much and you overly identify with your mind. That is your illness. And in fact, that is the illness of a lot of people where you come from. I'm interpreting that as like America back home. Your mind is sort of like a fish in water. It's constantly racing from destination to destination, just going like, just very ungracefully racing, splashing from destination to destination, from thought to thought. And the spirit was like, a more efficient way of using your mind is to imagine it sort of like a koi fish in a stream of water, and it's just coasting along in the present moment, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, not busy labeling things. Let's just be in the moment. So that was what the medicine said to me. And I thought, okay, I understand. So we start kind of training my mind in a sense, right? So I'm laid down and the medicine was like, okay, just be in the moment with me. Let's just be in the moment together. And then my mind starts creeping in and was like, I don't feel comfortable right now. Let me shift my body. Oh, am I making too much noise? Oh man, am I disrupting other people's ceremonies too? Like, am I disrupting their experience? And then Mother Aya guided me back to the moment. It's like, no, 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 it's cool. Just be back in the moment. Don't worry about anything else. Just be in the moment. And it didn't take long again before my mind was but what is the shamans saying? What are they chanting? It sounds so odd and evil and demonic. And then the medicine was like, no, 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 it's fine. Just be back in the moment. And then, of course, not long afterwards, my mind starts coming back again. And it's like, dude, you're making too much noise, man. You're being so inconsiderate to everybody else. And then the medicine just guides me back again. This happens over and over and over and over. And I was getting extremely, extremely frustrated. Um, So then Mother Ayahuasca was like, all right, you're actually a pretty extreme case of overly identifying with your mind. You're a pretty extreme case of overthinking. And we need to change it up, and she didn't say it in a way that was meant to scare me. It was just, this is the diagnosis, and we got to change it up, and this will heal you. It was like that. So the method was changed up. So what this method was, or came in the form of, in my mind's eye, I see a male spirit, and he was sitting in lotus position, kind of like this, and he was holding a cup with a glowing bright yellow liquid, and he starts speaking to me. He's like, okay, now sit up straight. So I sat up straight, and he was like, all right, lean forward and hold this cup. And I was like, all right. And I leaned forward, hold this cup. Mind you, in the physical realm, I'm not holding anything, obviously. This is just what I see in my mind's eye. So I'm going like this in the physical realm. But in my mind's eye, I'm holding the cup now. And then he's like, drink it. I'm like, okay. So I drink it. And what's interesting is that I actually physically felt it go through my body. And it kind of stayed near the, I guess you can call it the root chakra, the base of my stomach. That's where it kind of just aggregated to. And that is where shit started going south. I started to lose my mind. Like, nothing made any sense. I started losing the grip of what was real or what anything meant. Concepts made zero sense. I started panicking. And then facilitators came over and checked on me. I was like, what's wrong? This is exactly what I said and how I said it. I'll just reenact it for you guys. I was like, I think I'm losing my mind. Like that. And by the time I was able to get the last word out, I've already lost my mind. So they replied, but when they replied, I had no idea what they said, and I couldn't respond. So I was just in a state of just like craziness. Like I was mentally handicapped. Seriously, it was really that bad. And then they just faded into the background, and I was just left in that state of craziness. I've forgotten even how to use my own body. Like I wasn't aware of how to use my body in a graceful way, right? So I was going all like "Ugh," and like slobbering all over the place. That really makes me appreciate the fact that the ceremony took place in the dark, because if people saw me, it's not a good look. And that's the thing about healing. Healing is not supposed to be pretty. Healing is healing. It is what it is. And in my case, it was not pretty at all. I was slobbering all over the place. I looked crazy, and I felt crazy. And in fact, I basically was crazy. I was left in that state for I don't know how long. And the thing is, my mind still was racing while I was in that state. I was like, dude, you look so ugly right now. Get it together. What the fuck are you doing? You look so disgusting. You're really being disruptive to everybody around you. You're making all this noise. I'm like causing a ruckus, banging my body all over the place. It's like, you're making all this noise. You're being so disrespectful to the ceremony. Like, get it together, Z. Like, what the fuck are you doing? My mind just wouldn't stop judging me, wouldn't stop criticizing me while I was in that state. And I felt so alone. I felt so scared. And I I saw myself morph into this really disgusting creature. And the best way I can describe it is like a human mixed with a really dirty and uh, disgusting rat. Sorry to put that image in your head, but that's what I saw myself morph into. And I saw myself next to a garbage disposal area as that creature, like barely clinging on to life, and people looked at me. I saw visions of people looking at me as that creature and was just like, ugh, like what a disgusting creature. And they would throw trash bags at me. Um, and I literally felt the trash bags hit my face, just like while I was that creature. And I was just still crazy, couldn't make sense of anything. My mind went to a place where it's like, um, you're you're so ugly, and you're so disgusting, and that and that because you're in this state of craziness, no one will ever love you. And I was just incapable of receiving love, and I was also incapable of giving love because I've lost my mind. And I was in my own personal hell. I was trapped by all my fears and insecurities. I was um I was trapped by all my fears and insecurities, and the Z that I was just, 2 hours or an hour beforehand, this vibrant Z full of life, full of love, was completely foreign to me. Like whoever that guy was, I don't know who that was. And the concept of when this experience is going to end, the fact that I took a medicine and I've lost my mind, but this will pass. That concept was completely foreign to me as well. So the future and the past both disappeared. I was literally in the that present moment with all of my fears and insecurities and seeing myself as this ugly creature for eternity. There was no end to it. There was no end in sight. I thought, wow, I fucked up. I really traveled all the way to Peru, took this medicine, and now I'm just gonna be crazy. My friends are gonna see me crazy. My parents are gonna see me crazy. They're gonna see me, they're gonna put me in a mental institution. It was really, really, really bad. Because it got to that point, I was like, you know, I I fucked up. I'm I don't enjoy any of this. I'm getting nothing from this, zero insights. This is just pure torture. And that's when I decided that I'm going to kill myself. So I tried to kill myself. Like that night, I really, really tried to kill myself. Even if after I die and there's nothing, that would have been a release and a relief compared to what I was experiencing. It could not have been any worse than what I was already experiencing. So I tried to kill myself. I think I was trying to bite myself. I was trying to bang my head on the back of the wall. And that's when I was brought out of the Maloka. So shifting the perspective from my mind back to the physical realm, what this all looked like physically was at one point I spider monkey hugged one of the facilitators, and then I let go, and then I face planted onto the floor, and I was just screaming, making a ton of noise. I heard a ton of demonic noises, and I was brought out of the Maloka, and I was restrained. If you can imagine, like this is the floor. I was on the floor like this. My chin was on the floor, and then my arms were just like completely behind my back like this. Two people were holding each arm, and one person was holding my body down like this. So I was on the floor, and as if that wasn't enough restraint, I had my ankles tied up. They brought out ropes and tied up my ankles because I was thrashing everywhere. I was trying so hard to end the experience. I was trying so hard to kill myself. And I couldn't do it. And at this point, I want to remind you my intentions. My intention was that because I didn't feel free in my life, I wanted to be free. I wanted to feel free. I wanted to be not restricted anymore, whatever that means, right? And yet I was trapped by my fears and insecurities for eternity. And my physical body was completely restrained. I've never been restrained to that degree before. I could barely move, right? So this was literally the most unfree I've ever felt in my life. I was still trying to kill myself though. Like I was banging my head on the floor and I was screaming, "What the fuck?" And everybody in the Maloka can hear me, all the suffering I went through. People said I sounded like I was extremely scared and terrified, which I was all of those things. Um, I couldn't end that experience. So then I got to a point where everyone hates me so much that eventually they're going to kill me. So I turned around and I asked the facilitators to kill me, to like mercy killing, basically. Of course, they didn't do it. Um, but I got that desperate and I asked them to kill me. Still, nothing. I was fighting for eternity. My my mind wouldn't stop and I was fighting that for eternity. I was trying so hard to be free. Physically, I was trying so hard to break out of the restraint. A few times I almost actually broke out of the restraint. Like I almost just broke free from three dudes holding me down. That's how much I wanted to be free, and that's how hard I fought to be free. But of course, I wasn't able to break free. And after fighting physically and emotionally and mentally for eternity, I just lost the energy. It's like I couldn't do it anymore. I'm going to, I guess this is life now. I just gave up. And that's when something interesting happened. By giving up, I surrendered. And through surrendering, I let go. And then I realized that because these were all my fears and insecurities, and I was the one being trapped by my mind and all these overthinking thoughts of like people making fun of me, people thinking I'm ugly. If I do this, what if this other thing in the future happens? Trying to predict the future, how people is going to react. All these things were just tricks of my mind, illusions of the mind. And because they were tricks that my mind was playing on me, I was both the prisoner and the warden, which meant that only I can free myself. And when I finally surrendered and let go, I was finally free. My mind stopped chattering and I felt completely at peace. I was no longer thinking, I was just feeling everything. I was just feeling being alive. I was just feeling existence itself. And at that point, I began to feel the entirety of the universe. I felt everything in this universe. And that's when I realized not a single speck is out of place. Like literally everything is as it should be. Not a single thing was out of place. And I felt so peaceful and I felt so safe. And then that's when the spirit of ayahuasca was like, "You are my child. Like, I birthed you into this universe. Everyone, you too, right? Everything in existence is a child of the universe." And Mother Aya was like, "I would never give you an experience that is just purely horrifying for the sake of horrifying. I would never do that to you. You had to go through that in order to heal and become stronger." And now I just have this sense of safety and security everywhere I go. And while I was in that state, I saw this light started coming from my heart. It was really faint at first, but then it started emanating outward and getting bigger and bigger until it got to a point where it was basically, if you can imagine, a candle flame, just consistently and strongly flickering peacefully. I felt completely at ease, completely at peace, and I realized that everyone has that inner flame in them. We've just forgotten how to be in tune with it because we're so distracted by the noises of the external world And even if we turn off the noises of the external world, like, you know, TV shows, music, YouTube, when we turn all that stuff off, there's always this mental chatter happening internally. So we have to turn that off. And once you turn that off, that's when you can really feel this peaceful, blissful feeling. And now, every moment that I go through, I can tap into that feeling and feel completely all right and feel completely at ease. The next day, when I woke up completely traumatized. Like, that really happened, and I really tried to kill myself. I was completely traumatized. I laid in bed for a while because I just didn't want to go on with my day. Like, how can I process this? It was so traumatic. When I finally mustered up the courage to get out of bed, some of the other retreat members saw me. There was bruises on my chin. I was like swollen, bruises all throughout my body. I just looked beat up. They came up to me and they hugged me, and I kind of just broke down in their arms. And then this lady that I've met at the retreat, whom I'll never ever forget, her name is Donna. Donna, if you're watching this, I want to thank you so much, because when she saw me, she was like, you need a hug from a mother. And she hugged me the same way a mom would hug a child to let the child know that he or she is safe in this world. So thank you so much, Donna, for that gift. I will never forget you. And I'll keep that in my heart for as long as I live. And of course, I broke down crying in her arms. If you guys haven't gotten the clue, I'm a pretty big crybaby, and I'm not ashamed of it. So I broke down crying in her arms, and it became a big part of my healing. You know, like all the things that I thought that the other people thought that, wow, Z is so ugly, and Z is ruining the ceremony, and people throwing trash at me, and people kind of, I think I left this detail out, but at one point I saw people take a look at me and just like in disgust. I was like, ugh. And then they left the ceremony and slammed the door. I saw this happen multiple times, but in reality, that never happened. Like, that was just in my head. And that just goes to show the degree in which the mind can play tricks on you, you know? Everybody's reaction when I talked to them the next day ranged from fear that my sanity will never come back, to sadness, to people rooting me on. They heard me screaming, and they were just like, they knew that I was repressing something severely and I needed to go through that. One guy, Jared, love you if you're watching this, he was rooting me on. He was like, yeah, you got this, man, you got this. So yeah, like the only person judging me was myself. No one else judged me to that degree. No one was even close to judging me to that degree. So now I no longer judge myself, and I feel so fucking free. It's so amazing. Like, let go of judgment and you could be so fucking free in this world. I've been so free ever since I've came back, and it feels amazing, man. So in summary, I had to journey through my own personal hell in order to find the peace and paradise within. And now that that experience is over and done with, since I've came back, I can always tap into this feeling of calmness, this feeling that everything is completely all right. And I've come to realize that the way I was using my mind was exactly what was limiting me, and that's why I felt so unfree. My fears, my insecurities, me trying to predict the future, not taking any risks because, oh, what if this happens? What if I can't make enough money to take care of my family? What if? And that's all just the trick of the mind. Like, literally, the future does not exist. The only thing that is real is this present moment right now. And once I can let go of my mind, it becomes that much clearer that the future and the past does not exist at all. It's just perpetually in this moment of now. And in this moment, everything is completely fine. Not a single thing is wrong. So I've really healed. That's why I feel completely fine sharing this experience with you. That's why I feel completely fine appearing vulnerable and crying in front of the camera, because one, I don't even see it as a vulnerability. Vulnerability implies weakness, but it's like, I don't know, like I don't see how this makes me weak. It's probably takes a lot of balls to cry in front of camera, if anything. And it's not like people can use this to blackmail me. Like, I just don't see it as a form of weakness anymore. And that's why I want to actually foster a place in my channel, like the comment section of all my videos. I want to foster a place where you guys can come to, and I invite you guys to share things that has been on your mind, things that you haven't been able to open up about, things that you feel has been weighing you down, or things in general that you label as vulnerabilities that would make you appear weak or vulnerable. And when you share them, I also invite you to no longer see them as weaknesses, because it's only when you perceive them as weaknesses can others use it to hurt you, right? Like if someone saw me on the street and was like, dickhead, you cried on camera. Like, I have two reactions. I could be like, and just let it affect me, or I could politely be like, you know, with all due respect, get the fuck out of my face. You know, just like not let it affect me. So I invite you guys to share yourself in the comment section. In fact, share yourself in this world and be free. It's really not worth living a life where we don't get to be free, where we got to put up these social masks and talk about shallow shit when there's like real root problems that we're all trying to hide from this world. And the act of us hiding it is what keeps us from healing from it. You're suffering, you're in pain, and you got to let it out, and we can help you with that. At this point, I want to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not for you guys taking ayahuasca or against you guys taking ayahuasca. This is a very personal experience of mine, and so it's a very personal choice that you have to make. I will relay what the shaman shared with me, which is that if you have an ailment or illness that this medicine can heal, you feel a natural calling towards it. This could be in the form of, you know, extreme curiosity or a actual pulling or nudging sensation towards this medicine. So listen to how you feel and take it from there. And also, if my experience sounds like too terrifying and you're like, I can't do that, then chances are you won't get my experience. I'm a strong believer that we don't get experiences that we can't handle. You know, if you choose a renowned facility retreat to do this in, and some good shamans that, for in my case, these shamans has done more than 600 ceremonies, and I was willing to work with the medicine. I wasn't trying to control the medicine. I let go of expectations. You know, if you're willing to work with the medicine, then I really feel like this could be a very beneficial part of some people's healing. This medicine is not for everybody, right? This is very specific type of healing, and only you can know if it's for you or not. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me in this moment, listening to this transformative experience of mine. I hope that you gain some type of healing from listening to my experience, and I'm really looking forward to making more videos, just having a good time talking to you guys, sharing my experience, sharing my insights. Now that I can see things so much clearly, I'm getting like downloads from just living life of like insights that I feel a strong calling to share. And the spirit is like, yeah, you know, this is what you're supposed to do. You are good at sharing these things. Do it. So now I'm gonna do it, and I'm doing it. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for being here with me in this moment, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Moments with Z. My name is Z, and in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you. What the fuck, Leo? Your stupid ass tail. God damn it. It was exactly what I needed. Well, there goes that take.